We are officially live, so this is Eat With Me. We just finished up 21 days of making progress. I actually started my journey back in June of this year to learn a couple of lessons on what I wanted to do with weight loss, how I wanted to get there. And we started off at 292.3 pounds. And we're going to be doing a video talking about the weight loss I have been doing the last 3 weeks, which has been low fat, low calorie, high volume, basically eating sandwiches. But we're gonna transition into kind of everything low fat as we go through. But we're since June, we're actually nearing in on 50 pounds. So we're getting close, and that's just been a couple of months, less than 4 months. So we're making progress. So welcome to Eat With Me. And this is actually my first meal of the day, so I'll kind of talk about what I've been doing. And first thing is, this is my first meal of the day. It's currently 2:45 here, and first thing I'm having here is just a black coffee. There's nothing inside of it, so no cream, no sugar, just black. And I typically drink something like this during the daytime. And I've been getting my exercise in, so I've been maintaining that. So far, I've walked 10 miles, 10.87 miles, with a calorie burn today of about 4,361, and I have about 22,000 steps in. So we're going to talk about what I'm doing, how I got to my weight loss, and one of the big things we've been doing is eating big sandwiches. So open meal, and join me for here. I got my chips with me, they're carrots. And before I actually decided to do a video today, I'm going to be making one that's going to be talking about the progress that I've made. As I was walking through Target, and over the last 3 weeks, one of the big things that I've been really focusing on is developing a lifestyle. And like I said, I started off at 292.3 pounds, so I've been losing weight. I've been putting in some work, but I lost a lot of weight initially, and I've done that before, where you lose weight, but then everything kind of comes back because you didn't change your lifestyle. I'm gonna take a big bite here, going in. Like I did a fast for 7 days, and I lost, double-digit weight. But immediately right after that, you start eating a pizza, you start having sandwiches, and pretty soon you gain 6 or 7 pounds in a day. So it's not sustainable. It was never meant to be. But now I'm actually looking at something sustainable. And that's what happened. I initially lost about 30 plus pounds, just kind of doing random food challenges and fasting and doing things that wasn't sustainable. And what I got out of that is that I realized that during that time I like to walk, which is, as you can see, when I went through my exercise at the beginning, that was my big form of exercise. It's just walking, because I can do it every single day. And I realized I don't like doing 7-day fasts. So I don't think I would be doing that again, but I realized that doing intermittent fasting, and I've been doing a lot of omad, just 1 meal a day, maybe some 2 meals a day. So I've been doing that. Another bite. So out of losing all that weight, I realized that I like to fast, and skipping a couple of meals. Like I said, this is my first meal. It's nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm not really hungry during the day. I'm active. My mind is active. I'm not really thinking about food. So getting through and having maybe 1 to 2 meals a day, having an eating window of just a couple hours, it really isn't that bad. So most of the day, I'm in a fasted state, so it's been working out really good. I'll do another bite. I hope you're eating too. And the star of the show has been low-fat food. So I've kept it simple, and I'll hear the comments like, processed meat is bad for you. Yeah, it is. Being close to 300 pounds is also bad for me. So it's one of those things that right now I'm doing something that I can sustain. It's easy to do. I don't have to cook. I don't have to really meal prep. Just making a sandwich and eating it. And the most I really have to do is put the sandwich together and maybe slice up a couple of vegetables. But right now, what we're eating, we got carrots. I got ham and turkey on here, 2 slices of bread, a tomato, a bunch of lettuce, some pickles, and some mustard. So a nice and simple meal. One of the classic sandwiches that I have is around 500 to 600 calories. And, ballpark, I know how much meat I'm having. It's right around 200 calories. My bread is about 200 to 250 calories. And then I just eat as many vegetables as I want. And if you fast like I've been doing towards the end of the day, it's tough to eat anymore in this. You have a couple sandwiches, maybe 2, 3 max, and you're done eating for the day. You're full. So the genius of this is being able to sit down fast during the daytime. So just by doing that, you're eliminating 500 to 600 calories by skipping breakfast, by not having a snack in the morning. And then as you go through, I'm walking whenever I can. So I just went to Target. I parked the furthest away that I could. I'm walking. I'm taking extra steps inside of Target. All that begins to burn more calories. And then I'm eating food that's going to be low calorie, high volume. So those sandwiches, they're just big. They're huge, about the size of my face. And like I said, ballpark, I know how I'm not having to weigh anything. I'm just keeping it simple. When I do switch over to like chicken or lean meats, things like that, I'll be measuring because it's really tough to know. But right now, I just got a big sandwich. And like I said, ballpark 500 to 600 calories. I was trying to mimic a low-fat homemade Subway sandwich diet. And those ones that are foot long without cheese, all the vegetables, have your meats, have your bread. They're right around 500 to 600 calories. And this is something that I would actually go and do. If I was hungry, I would go to Subway, Jimmy John's, we had Jersey Mike's, there's a bunch of places that I would go to. So this is actually a meal that I would go to and I would eat if I was actually hungry out in the world. So I decided let's try to create something that, instead of having to spend like $16 on a sandwich, maybe I spend 5 or 6 and I'm going to get full. I enjoy it. And the weird thing is a lot of times when you think of diet food, it's not really something you crave. This is actually something that I look forward to at the end of the day. Sandwich is falling apart, but that's okay. At the end of the day, it's just a dude with a sandwich, living his best life, getting full. Think about making the next video, getting better at all the things that I've been doing with that. But I've been keeping it simple. Like I said, this is a lifestyle thing, and I lost some weight initially. I realized I can lose weight. So the most important thing is finding an exercise that you actually enjoy doing, that you can do on a regular basis, and do it as much as you can. So for me, going out, listening to a podcast or something on YouTube, not that I'm watching the video, but just have the audio. I can go out and walk for 45 minutes, and it's amazing. I'm getting a lot of knowledge in. I enjoy it, so I actually look forward to a walk. And like I said, I sat down and I tried figuring it out. I did a long fast, and I don't like it. It wasn't the most fun, but what I did enjoy was knowing that I can actually fast for most of the day without any pain or discomfort. And every time you do that, let's just say you don't eat one meal and you save yourself 500 calories. By the end of the week, just by doing that, you're going to be down a pound. So, pound is 3,500 calories. You skip one meal, 500 calories a day. It adds up to a pound. And then look for little things that you can do in terms of weight loss, such as walking. And like I said, take the stairs instead of doing an elevator, take the stairs instead of an escalator, park further away. If you got 10 minutes, let's say you're watching TV for an hour, get up and walk for 10 minutes. And myself, if I walk, like 1,000 steps, I do about 1,000 or 100 calories. So every time you begin to do that, it begins to add up. That just begins to increase how many pounds you're going to be losing. I say pounds because that's definitely doable. A lot of people say 1 to 2 pounds is aggressive. And right now, a lot of times I'm between 4 and 6 pounds within a week. And I don't find it really restricted. So it's been good. More food. But I think that's been my biggest thing. Find something you enjoy doing in terms of exercise. Find something you enjoy eating that you actually look forward to. And it's going to be something that puts you in a calorie deficit. And begin to pair those two together. So you got a food you like and exercise you can do on a regular basis. Just continue to do that. Keep showing up. Keep putting in good things. When I go on a walk, I'm going to listen to things that are related to weight loss. So it kind of becomes an obsession. You just keep thinking about it. Keep realizing that, all right, this is something you got to work at. And I'm changing how I move, how I think, how I eat. And I'm putting that all together. And like I said, starting in June, I was close to 292.3 pounds. And we're getting close to 50 pounds. And it hasn't been that much of a struggle. I've done things like fasting and long fast, but I'm narrowing it down to something that it's really at this point getting easier. I think that I could be on autopilot and lose at least 3 pounds a week to 4 pounds a week without really doing much. And going forward, I could continue to do this. So I'm learning a lot, and especially with weight loss, you want to lose weight at a gradual process. But it's also got to be motivating. You want to be able to see things begin to change, clothes begin to fit differently. Yeah, I mean, I started off with like a triple XL shirt, not the best shirt, down to a double XL, and so the shirt that we still got a belly, but not out to here anymore. So I'm making progress. We're making change. It's nice to. I posted a YouTube short, and I just, like I said, I started off at 292.3 pounds, and I did that the morning that I went below 250 pounds, so I got into the 240s, and I haven't been at that number forever. So that's been really cool. You begin to move in directions with weight loss, and clothes start feeling different. You have to start buying different pairs of clothes. Your diet starts changing. Exercise becomes something that you automatically do. And like I said, I started out this year close to 300 pounds. And I didn't see myself, here in October, down close to 50. Well, at that point, yeah, we're getting close to 50 pounds. And it's just becoming easy. So what I would recommend for anybody here is you got to find something that you enjoy, exercise, enjoy for food, something that you're not really going to feel restricted. You can actually do every single day. And then it just becomes part of your life. And I lost 30 plus pounds, and I took a little break because I didn't have that lifestyle component. I realized I could lose weight, but without a lifestyle, you're going to gain it right back. So we're getting down to the bottom of the sandwich here. But yeah, the Eat With Me series, this is, it's more than a guy just eating a sandwich. It's kind of some ramblings. I'll obviously get more thorough videos, more concise videos, but this is something, pull up a sandwich, go for a walk. And the information I'm talking about is nice and simple. It's talking about walking, intermittent fasting, just skipping a meal here and there, putting good things into your mind. And then the food I'm eating, low fat, high volume, and low calorie. So you put all those together. The low calorie comes from, like I said, big sandwiches, about 500 to 600 calories each. And they're about the size of my head, but you're going to have some carbs, you're going to have some protein. We're basically trying to eliminate as much fat as possible. And then I'm eating a pile of vegetables, so I had an entire tomato on here. Got my chips. These are just little carrot chips. And I went shopping today. I went to Target, and instead of buying like kale chips or Doritos, I bought this, and I'll do a video where I kind of showed what my shopping cart looks like, but there was no junk food in it. It's vegetables. Just healthy stuff. And I'll do a video on this later, but you do a comparison of what, let's say, 200 calories of Doritos would look like. It's just gonna be a little handful. And versus, let's say, these little chips right here, you could basically eat an entire bag of carrots for the same amount of calories, but the volume is huge. So high volume, low calorie. You could eat a bag of lettuce. Huge salads are going to be awesome. But I don't count the calories in that. Cucumbers, cabbage, any kind of vegetable, peppers, just amazing things. And it's the first time that I was able to walk past other foods that I typically would run to. So having me eat an entire frozen pizza, a Ben and Jerry's, pint of ice cream. I could go through a sleeve of Oreos, in a couple hours. It doesn't take much. And now I realize I'm doing most of my shopping at the front of the grocery store where everything is nice, fresh. It's going to go bad within a couple of days because it's fresh food. It's not processed. And if you can begin to eat foods that are not processed, they're healthy. They're low calorie. They're filling. And then putting this all together, one of the best things that you can do is, let's say if you go to McDonald's and you get a double cheeseburger, you could have that thing down in like 3 bites. When I'm having a sandwich here, right around 19 minutes in, it takes about 15 to 30 minutes for your brain, right, to tell you that you're full. So having a big sandwich like this where it can't be done in 2 bites, it's going to take you some time to actually chew and let it digest. But there's just so much volume that you can't eat it in a couple of minutes. So you're going to be full, first of all, because of the volume, but also because of the time. So you're kind of retraining how you eat. You're not rushing through. So you got to ask yourself, I know I've been doing low fat. You can do whatever you want to in terms of diet. You got to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. You got to make sure that you can stick to it. And I like to keep it simple with this one. I know the calories. I know that I can eat 2 or 3 of these in a day. It's going to be fine. There's no preparation. It's just putting a couple things together, slicing up some vegetables. It's nice and simple. But a lot of times people end up hiring trainers. Maybe they have food delivery things sent to their house. Everything is really spendy. And what I'm doing here is I'm walking, so I don't have to join a gym. As long as you have a pair of shoes, you can walk indoors, you can go to the mall. You can walk out when it's nice, you can get an indoor treadmill. A lot of things you can do, so just simple exercise. It's walking. Simple food. Like I said, ballpark, you know how many calories there are. And you can choose whatever you want for vegetables. Whatever you want for meat, just make sure that it's low fat. And yeah, you don't have to do anything really for prep. There's not anything to cook. Like I said, I'll change things up. But right now, everything's just, I don't have to bake the bread. The meat's ready to go. I just have to put together a bunch of vegetables, maybe slice up a couple of things, and then make a sandwich. And then I know the calories, so I'm not having to do a whole bunch of measuring. Like I said, keeping it simple. Walking is simple. Skipping a meal here and there, it's simple. And then just make sure you're in a calorie deficit and, move around as much as you can. I walk quite a bit, and I do that every single day. One of the things I try to do is hit 10,000 steps. And I do that, and I can walk the next day, no problem. So that's what I recommend. Do a little bit of intermittent fasting, skip a meal here or there, low fat, high volume food. Everything is really tasty. I do look forward to the meals. So I've been going 3 weeks, and it's getting easier just to eat this and not think about anything else. Walking is a simple exercise. I like to keep it simple, and simple is reproducible. So right now I'm just building healthy habits. I've been in the mindset of getting to 300 pounds. I wasn't living the best lifestyle, if we're going to be honest. But now I'm thinking about how much I'm moving. I'm looking at my calorie deficit. I'm choosing my foods. I've changed the way how I shop. I've been doing a lot of good things. I put it all together, and change feels good. And once it becomes a habit, I don't know, it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, but I've noticed that I change how, I'm looking at how many steps I got. I'm looking at my calorie burn. I'm fasting throughout the day. I get to that point where I can just, skip breakfast. There's 500 calories I didn't eat, and keep doing that every single day. That's a pound loss just by doing nothing. You just skip a meal, nice and simple. Keep it simple. Weight loss doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to hire anybody. You just sit down with a dude, you eat a sandwich, have some carrots, have a bunch of vegetables, and make some gradual changes. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be posting a video talking about the last 3 weeks. But I've been fasting, eating low-fat, homemade Subway sandwiches, high-volume sandwiches. I've been walking, I've been intermittent fasting, and then I had a calorie deficit. So I've been keeping it simple. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I've watched so many videos and thought really hard about having the perfect plan. I know that I can walk. I know that I can enjoy walking. I do enjoy walking. I'll just listen to something. I'll get out there, like being in nature. And now my exercise isn't a chore. I look forward to it. There's days where I may get 20,000 plus steps. I've hit 30,000 before. Especially for a bigger guy, I've done 10,000 steps in a row, and nonstop without taking breaks, it takes me about an hour, 40, 45 minutes. And I'll get a big calorie burn. I think by doing that, I'm close to 1,000 calories just going out and walking for an hour, 40 minutes. But I'm listening to things. I can listen to music. So the exercise is a joke. It's nice and simple. The food is amazing. And it's not even that you have to start losing weight right now. But I would recommend finding some foods that are more health-wise that you can begin to incorporate. And like I said, I was losing weight, but then I took a break to figure out what kind of foods do I want to eat going forward. It's something that you think about having a lifestyle. We could all do things to lose weight, but I'm trying to build foods right now that I'm going to continue to eat once I am done losing weight. So I get to, my goal is 100 pounds. We're going to get there. And I'm looking for foods that I can actually sit down, eat, and then I'm going to continue to eat afterwards. So try to find a food, or like I said, low fat. I like chicken breast. I like steamed vegetables. I like a lot of these things that now are becoming part of my lifestyle. And so I'm changing, and I did this all before I started losing weight, and then I lost weight. And then I sat for a little bit thinking about how do I want to do this going forward so that it actually becomes a lifestyle. So I took a pause and figured out I have my exercise down. I realized, especially by doing intermittent fasting, or I did my 7-day fast. I like to do fasting for shorter periods. So I incorporated that. And then I found some foods that I know that going forward, it's going to help me lose weight and be able to get there. And you want to be able to get foods that are low calorie. Low fat is nice just because it's not, you eliminate fat, that's 9 calories per gram instead of 4 calories for carbs and proteins. So that all adds up. And then just having high volume, a lot of food. And if you can do that, like I said, keep it simple. I like to walk, I skip a meal here and there. And then I have big sandwiches. I don't feel restricted. So if you're looking to lose weight, this is going to be the channel for you. I'm going to be documenting things in real time. I'll be doing more tips, but yeah, ultimately, a couple simple things: eating, moving, not eating. You don't have to, start your day with breakfast. You can skip a meal here and there, and everything begins to add up to massive weight loss. So I think we're there. We're at 27 minutes, and I want to thank you all for eating with me. Like I said, keep it simple. Keep it sustainable. And together we're going to find what's possible. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.